and only a major accident blemished the event, taking out several drivers in the process. But when the smoke cleared, it was Bobby Allison holding off a crowd to capture the victory.
First turn, and there was trouble down in turn one. Dale Jarrett and Rob Moroso really had to thread a needle there. Moroso went high. Dale Earnhardt now has moved up into the fourth position. As Gant now, as he comes off the turn, is trying to pick up on him, Bob.
Here we go off of corner number 4. Let's see what happens. Bodine and Gant going for the win, and Jeff Bodine wins by about a car length. Good race. Harry Gant finishes about a car length behind Jeff Bodine in a scramble here at the start-finish line as cars battle for position. Rob Moroso did bang the wall out in turn number 2 and lost a position, at least one position, and he may have suffered some damage to that car because it was a handful as he came down to the straightaway.
Okay, here is Dale Jarrett moving on the inside of a lap car, and Earnhardt, and Rob Moroso goes high. Earnhardt just moves down on the inside and moves around Rob Moroso, and he had to gather it back in, follow that lap car on around.
But the green was still out. Then in turn 4, Bobby Labonte and Patty Moise tangled in turn 4. The wall would win as usual. And then Dale Earnhardt had his engine expire with just a couple of laps left. It was the day for Dale Jarrett. He would win the race under the yellow.
Back a little bit now. Hillen coming on strong to take over the number 2 position.
So we have Larry Pollard into the fence in turn number 3. Larry Pollard is into the fence. Sliding down the track and narrowly missing another car. That was the number 9 machine driven by Joe Bessie. A narrow miss right there. But Larry Pollard has damaged the Skoll Buick, car number 7, the one that Harry Gant normally drives. And this will bring out the caution, and this race could very easily end under caution.
Well, it could, and Larry Pollard has hit very hard.
Bobby Hillen passed Brad Teague at the line, and if this thing doesn't go back green, Bobby Hillen Jr. is going to win. What was the problem with Brad Teague there?
I think he just made a mistake. I think he saw the caution, and he just slowed down. And as they came off of the turn to get the caution flag, here's Bobby Hillen coming around. Teague going too slow, and Hillen moves right around him as they cross the start-finish line.
By a full car length, and I think maybe we have seen some experience there. Well, 81 is getting black flagged, or is he?
Well,
yes,
maybe,
he is.
Maybe Brad Teague had already taken the caution flag the lap before. That's very possible.
Okay, Jerry Punch, what's the story? And become the 12th different winner in 12 races in Grand National competition this year. Prior to today, his best finish in Grand National competition was second at Charlotte just last weekend, and now he brings home a victory. So the checkered flag comes out. Bobby Hillen Jr., in only his 7th start in Grand National competition, wins the Budweiser 200. That Larry Pearson has won here this evening, and that he will be receiving in victory lane in just a few moments. We have less than 5 laps to go. Coming by this time, it'll complete lap number 143 and a spin on the backstretch and a car into the wall. That's Patty Moise in car number 37, and the caution flag will come out, I believe.
Patty sitting down on the inside next to the retaining wall just off of turn 2. on the backstretch.
Caution is out. And with now 4 laps to go. So, will we see this race end under caution?
They'll certainly try to get Patty Moise righted and headed back out on the racetrack or into the pits as quickly as possible.
And Darrell Waltrip continues to watch his brother. But Darrell is not happy about something. That's quite obvious.
Yes, it is. And that's, heck, you ought to be happy with Michael running up there in 3rd place and has a chance to win this thing.
Well, he has had a magnificent race. Michael Waltrip.
Because Harry Gant looked like he pretty well had it in hand. That car has worked so well all afternoon, and he was out front, had about a 2-car length lead over Jeff Bodine, and the checkered flag comes out.
Harry Gant has won the Gatorade 200 at Darlington International Raceway. The crew celebrating the victory. There's the crew chief, Jim Harmon. And Harry Gant has the win. That's Davey Allison, who has pulled down to the inside of the track and moved alongside Harry there for a moment, congratulating him on his victory. Down the backstretch on the white flag lap. Michael Waltrip in the car owned by his brother, the Superflow Chevrolet. Here he is coming off of corner number 4. The checkered flag is waiting, and Michael Waltrip wins the Grand National 200.
And look at this battle. Jimmy Spencer moves around Harry Gant as they come across the start-finish line. There was a real battle going on there with Ron Cooper and Harry Gant and Jimmy Spencer.
So a great win for Michael Waltrip, and that ought to solidify his ride at Charlotte, I would guess.
I would guess so, because you couldn't do any better than he did here today. I watched him in practice this morning, Bob, and I knew that that car was very strong, and he's a very capable driver. He has really matured. I would say that he's the most improved driver on the NASCAR Winston Cup circuit this year.
Seasoned veteran as they head into turn 3. There is a margin of 3 car lengths. Bodine takes it down to within 2 car lengths and is going to try to make a bid out of turn 4 if he can, but looks like Moroso will hold him off as he comes through turn 4. They're coming to the stripe hill.
Moroso with 5 car length advantage, and he has the checkered flag. He's won the big one, the biggest win of his young life. The 20-year-old speedster from Connecticut has won the All-Pro Auto Parts 300.
Our congratulations to young Robbie Moroso, 20 years old, and he has beaten the seasoned veterans of the Winston Cup ranks, receiving congratulations from second-place runner Jeff Bodine.
For the final time, they're separated by about 3 car lengths. If Dale Earnhardt is going to win this race, he's going to have to do it, and I don't think he is going to be able to. We watch him come out of corner number 4. Gant maintains the lead, and he crosses the stripe and wins the AC Delco 200 with Earnhardt about 2 car lengths behind.
They passed Davey Allison just as they came across the start-finish line to put Davey a lap down, but Davey would remain in the 3rd position. And what a drive to this win here today, and what a drive for second place. Both of those drivers really drove their heart out.
And the 1988 Busch Grand National champion is Tommy Ellis in car number 99. He wasn't competitive as far as in a battle for the lead all day, but he played it conservatively, and he did what he wanted to do and win the Grand National title as his only rival. Mike Alexander just had a terrible day, making numerous pit stops after having started in 38th position.
Take his son into consideration. Now he has moved out behind Davey and pushing him in there, and David now is going to make his move, but he can't. Can he do it, Ken?
He can't get to the outside. He tries again. Bobby Allison in that Buick rides in 3rd. Chevrolet 1st, Ford 2nd, Buick 3rd. Is this just a test run of next Sunday's Daytona 500? I believe so. Here they come to the line, coming down for the checkers. Earnhardt is in front. Davey Allison trying to move at the stripe. It will be Dale Earnhardt winning here today in the Busch Clash. Davey Allison will take 2nd. Bobby Allison finishing in 3rd. Jeff Bodine in 4th, and Bill Elliott 5th.
The first man to win it 3 times. Earnhardt had 2 previous wins in this Clash run. Got out front, stayed there, and as Darrell Waltrip said, he had to be sweating, but he held on and it worked for him.
deployed first. Rusty Wallace in the white number 27 Pontiac. He will carry one of our CBS onboard cameras. He makes a charge at Bobby Allison, but the handling in that car number 12 is so strong that no one gets another look at him. Allison, a serious favorite for tomorrow's Daytona 500 because the car really does handle. Careful note about Allison, and in the last lap took even more careful notes about, well, watch what happens here.
Davey tries to make a move on the inside, but Darrell Waltrip says, no, I've had that spot all day. Davey has to back off. He goes high, and here's Dale Earnhardt catching up.
The black number 3 of Earnhardt snuggles down to the bottom of turn 4 on the penultimate lap. Here they come, driving for the finish line. Waltrip has secured first place. The battle here for second. Notice Terry Labonte up on the outside, but by 4 feet. Give it to Dale Earnhardt for second place in this drive.
Now, Davey, what are you going to do?
He's got less than half a lap to do it.
And they have enough lead. I believe this is going to be a battle between the father and son. I don't think anybody else can try it, but here he comes. He's going to do
the
it.
Bottom. He's down low. Bobby Allison high. Davey Allison trying the inside move. Bobby Allison holds him off. They come to the stripe, and the winner of the 30th annual Great American Race, Bobby Allison. Davey Allison, his son, in second. Judy Allison ecstatic. What a tremendous family performance.
Look at him, Bobby waving to Davey.
Did you hear Davey saying, I made a try for him at turn 4, but he was too strong?
Well, those fans that David Hobbs interviewed at the first of the race said, I think it'll be the Alabama gang. Here they are.
The Alabama gang has conquered the Daytona 500 in its 30th running.
Neil Bonnet can hold on this last lap. Now, he is some gritty guy.
And I can assure you the first person that's going to hug his neck is Dale Earnhardt, because they are partners.
Here they come down to the line. The finish at this afternoon. The checkers are out. And Alabama's Neil Bonnet, fourth a week ago at Daytona, comes back and wins here today. Ricky Rudd has to settle for second. And Richard Petty returns from one of the worst wrecks of his career just 7 days ago to a brilliant third-place finish on as chilly and cold and as exciting a day as we've ever had for racing in Richmond, Virginia. We'll be back with more of the story and a chance to meet the winner in a moment. They've got cars to wind in and out of before they reach turn number 3. Neil Bonnet driving for the Raymont Valvoline team halfway using the low side of the circuit. The team is ready to jump. Turn 4 out, down through the trioval. The checkered flag is at the ready, and Neil Bonnet in the Valvoline Pontiac strikes gold. Second place will go to Bobby Allison in the number 12 Buick, and third place is Dave Marcus in the number 71 car. What a race, what a drive from Neil Bonnet. Now that he just doesn't have it to pass Neil, and he's going to settle for a second place finish.
Or maybe is he out of gas? Maybe he's low on gas. I don't know.
I think he's going to finish. Here they come off of corner number 4. Neil Bonnet from Hueytown, Alabama, wins the Goodwrench 500. Second is Lake Speed. And here comes third. Sterling Marlin pulled away from Alan Kulwicki in the closing laps to finish third. Kulwicki was fourth. And finishing in the 5th position is going to be Dale Earnhardt. Neil Bonnet is on a roll. There is no question about that. The second consecutive Winston Cup victory and the third consecutive NASCAR victory for Neil Bonnet.
327 laps here in Atlanta. He's running over 170 miles an hour.
Well, if he doesn't wreck between here and the clubhouse or faint, he's won it. It'll be his 32nd victory in Winston Cup Series competition. There it is. Wallace is second. Third place looks as if it'll go to Waltrip. Fourth place to Labonte. Kyle Petty 5. And then on down the line, you got Bobby Hillin Jr., Buddy Baker, Brett Bodine, and so forth. But the margin of victory, because of the caution flag, was less than a second at 100 and, what was it, 1.07. That's what it was, 1.07 seconds.
Obviously, this crew is putting things together. They're cheering for him as he heads down the backstretch, now with less than a half lap to go. The Wins Kmart Oldsmobile is about to go into Darlington's victory lane. Here's the checkered flag. Lake Speed wins the Trans-South 500.
Congratulations, buddy.
Oh, what a victory. He ran a beautiful race. He sure did. Here's Alan Kowicki in the Xerox Ford, whom we have been riding with throughout the afternoon, about to finish second. He brings the car down off of corner number 4. Alan Kowicki finishes in second position. Be a spin and win, but it'll be a spin with less than 2 laps, whether less than 10 laps to go, and a Bill Elliott victory. Here's the checkered flag. Bill Elliott wins. Mark Martin is second, and Jeff Bodine is third.
Boy, tough decision for Waddell Wilson. I feel sorry for him. You know, Monday morning quarterbacks will always say he should have stopped and got those tires, but that's the crew chief's decision, and I think I would have gone with Waddell. I support him. I was awful surprised that Elliott was able to get around him.
First Union 400 down the backstretch. Labonte in the Budweiser Chevrolet, prepared by Junior Johnson, whose place is just down the road. Labonte off of corner number 4. The checkered flag drops, and Terry Labonte wins his 8th Winston Cup race of his career. Second place is going to go to Ricky Rudd. There's Earnhardt third and Rusty Wallace fourth, and Earnhardt just beat Wallace to the checkered flag for the third place finish. Let's go to Jerry Punch.
And his second win on the year, over $7 million in career earnings. He will go over the $300,000 mark this year by taking this victory.
He'll follow Benny Parsons off turn 4 for the second time this year. Dale Earnhardt accepts the checkered flag from Harold Kinder. Sterling Marlin finishes second, and the celebrating in the Good Ranch Richard Childress pit area. Childress, crew chief Kirk Shelmerdine, engine builder Lou LaRosa, and that whole crew, a job well done.
Bobby got that run going well, going up high. He got some momentum.
Here comes Bobby Allison. Phil Parsons goes low on the racetrack in an attempt to block Bobby Allison from making a move. They go into turn number 3 in single file formation. Bobby Allison is second. Jeff Bodine is third. Then Terry Labonte and Ken Schrader. They come off of the 4th corner into the banking of the tri-oval. Phil Parsons has the lead. Bobby Allison running second. If Allison is going to make a move, he's going to have to do it now. He cannot do it. Phil Parsons is going to win his first Winston Cup race. There's the checkered flag. Parsons wins. Allison second. Bodine third. Labonte fourth, and Ken Schrader is fifth. And there was a tremendous battle for position behind that group of cars with Sterling Marlin and Bill Elliott going at it. But the story has been told, and Phil Parsons has conquered his first Winston Cup race.
Made his Winston Cup debut at Darlington in 1978. Went on to win his first ever Winston Cup race there at the track Too Tough to Tame 2 years later, trying to win the Winston Open here today.
And the turn down off 4 for the finish line. It is Labonte, Marlin, Davey Allison, Bill Elliott, Bobby Allison, Kyle Petty, Darrell Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt, Morgan Shepherd, and Neil Bonnet. Shepherd will finish ahead of Waltrip because he was 1 lap down. Waltrip was 2 down. But the crowd thundering its appreciation of the day as Labonte came out of the pack and slammed it home to win $200,000 in the Winston.
Up on their feet, 130,000 strong. Let's see who's going to take it in turn number 3. Waltrip, a beautiful line. Here comes Wallace moving to the inside. Wallace pulling ever so much closer as they come to the stripe. And he drives into the grass. Wallace, as he finally has to settle for second place. It'll be Darrell Waltrip. the first man in history to win this event 4 times.
Let me tell you something. It's really neat. Every person here is standing and cheering for Darrell Waltrip, a guy that they all used to love to boo. And that's how the things can change. And that's a great victory for Jeff Hammond. It's a great victory for Rick Hendricks. After some of the adversity they had, we're glad to see Darrell back in that victory circle where he belongs.
There you see the top 3. Number 27, Wallace, pulling up a little salute. Alan Kowicki alongside. And Darrell Waltrip has won for the 4th time, the first man in history to do so, the Coca-Cola 600.
Just a half mile to go before the checkered flag is his. He drops down low on the racetrack in turn number 3. He'll pass under Benny Parsons, who lets him have lots of racing room. Here comes Bill Elliott out of corner number 4, and Elliott wins the Budweiser 500 at Dover Downs International Speedway. Ernie and the team celebrating another victory for Bill Elliott.
And he deserved this one, Bob. He fought his way back from a lap down. Here's Morgan Shepherd coming around to get the checkered flag, of course finishing in 2nd place. But he was a lap down at one time, got back in the lead lap, and then was a factor from then on. No problem at all, and he slows it down going into that turn, gets her right down on the inside, as we've seen him so many times today. Looks like he's got it made, Bob.
Rusty Wallace comes out of corner number 9 in the Kodiak Pontiac. Slips just a little, but he's got the race won. He crosses the line, and Rusty Wallace wins. Terry Labonte is 2nd, followed by Ricky Rudd, Dale Earnhardt, Phil Parsons, Richard Petty, and the number 6 car of Mark Martin finishes 7th.
I believe Dale Jarrett's going to come home in 8th place, and Sterling Marlin in the 9th position.
And unofficially Neil Bonnet in 10th. There's the winner, Rusty Wallace. And it's amazing to think that this guy grew up on the short tracks in the Midwest. His original home was near the St. Louis area, Fenton, Missouri. He grew up on the short tracks in the Midwest, won an ASA championship, but really has shown most of his strength in Winston Cup competition on the road courses.
Victory here in the Miller High Life 500. Bodine now moves down across into turn number 3. Jeff Bodine, the former Daytona 500 winner, hasn't won since 1986. He comes out of turn number 3. The crowd is on their feet. Jeff Bodine will win it this afternoon here at Pocono, the Miller High Life 500.
A tremendous victory, and now coming down the front stretch.
And
Mike Waltrip from go-karts through the Baby Grand Division.
The best finish of his Winston Cup career, 2nd here.
8.23 seconds, the margin of victory.
And there you see Kathy Bodine. Kathy Bodine hugging her sister-in-law, Diane, and they are excited. Maybe a moment that that they didn't think was coming again, but obviously it's happened. Let's go to Bill Hennessy.
Elliott moving up another car length. It has been a wonderful race. Only one small incident. That was when Dale Jarrett spun in turn number 3. We've only had 4 cautions. Had some mechanical failures. Here they come for 3 and 4. Driving for the finish. Down they come. Elliott trying to pull up. Rusty Wallace staying in front. Coming to the line. Rusty Wallace has defeated Bill Elliott by a margin of about 24/100ths of a second. Battle for 3rd coming to the line. It will be Terry Labonte over Dale Earnhardt in 4th. And in 5th, it will be car number 5, Bodine, in front of his teammate from the Hendricks stable, Ken Schrader. What a dandy race. Rusty Wallace leads the point battle by 130 points over Dale Earnhardt. Bill Elliott is 3rd, behind Wallace. In St. Louis, there's going to be some celebrating today.
Then they can actually affect the handling of that car in front of them by spoiling the way air is coming off the back of the car. But look at Earnhardt. Earnhardt closes up behind Wilson and then has to fall back as Wilson makes his move down to the inside. He is alongside Bill Elliott. Wilson alongside, pushes a nose just ahead. Will this be the first victory for Wilson? Elliott is alongside now. Elliott forges ahead, and Elliott with a nose just ahead of Wilson at the line as they touch, coming across to finish this race. Elliott wins the firecracker with Wilson in second place by inches.
Well, there was experience against youth. You saw Rick Wilson make his move. He did it a little bit soon, and Elliott still had the momentum. He knew to be able to come up on the outside and pick him up by just a couple of feet at the finish line. What a finish.
Mark Martin on this final lap as Elliott heads for turn number 3. The final corner and the final mile of the AC Sparkplug 500. It will go to the Coors Belling Ford Thunderbird. His 27th career Winston Cup victory. Bill Elliott takes the checkered flag. Very impressive run, Mike. Kenny Schrader comes across the stripe for second. Looking now for third, Davey Allison by some 10 car lengths over Jeff Bodine. Will finish in the third position. Bodine will be the fourth place car. A winner here last month, his second top 5 finish of the season.
Always dramatic, always exciting at the finish. Here comes Sterling Marlin on the outside.
Well, what a move. Now, can he make it stick?
Sterling Marlin hanging on, and he's with Schrader. Now Marlin dives to the inside.
Can't quite do that.
Oh, 3 gets sideways for just a moment.
And Schrader moving up on the outside. A very smart, fast move.
Oh, 44 is boxed, and he had to slam it to the inside. This will double them all back up again. Schrader has the advantage. Rick Wilson goes to second. He won't give ground. It's a break for Ken Schrader. Earnhardt on the bottom, and as they run side by side, Schrader gets a little distance. Coming down for the finish of the 20th annual Talladega 500. Missouri's Ken Schrader in front. Coming back down out of turn 4 comes Earnhardt. Wilson on the outside. He wants to take one more shot. Here they come, all battling for the lead. Bodine comes back up the middle at the line. Schrader. Checkered flag is out. Incredible win for Ken Schrader in the Harry Hyde car.
What a move that he made on the second turn.
Racing is my business, and I've been going for 50 years, and I can't remember one like this. I really can't.
Well, Ken Schrader's done it. Let's look at a replay of this incredible finish that we have just witnessed here at the Talladega 500.
We'll try to make a final move here. They come down through corner number 6 now. Rusty is going to have to make a move if he wins this race. I don't think he's going to do it.
I don't think he can do it either. Ricky Rudd is too smooth. He has the line that he wants. He's using the racetrack to his advantage. He's going to slow it down. They're turning, they bump.
They bump. Here they come up the 7th corner. Who's going to win it? They're side by side. Rusty is well off the track. He cannot win it, and Ricky Rudd does. Unbelievable.
We knew it was going to be that kind of a race when the green flag flew again.
We have a crash. Davey Allison involved in a crash. Several cars have come together. And a car also spinning off course. Maybe some oil. That's Ernie Irvin that slid off course. It's the car pointed in the right direction and takes off again.
Dale Jarrett is fun over there somewhere. He was late getting back, and Ricky Wilson also was in a crash. He came across the start-finish line. So was Brett Bodine. He was involved, so a big car crash.
The crew is hoping and praying that it'll stay together for him.
When Morgan Shepherd just went high coming off of turn 2, both Rusty Wallace and Bill Elliott moved around him. There they are, the 3 cars, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
And Phil Parsons apparently has blown a motor. He's down in turn number 1 with a lot of smoke coming from that car. Here we go. Here's the shootout. Remember, Davey Allison is the leader. Here he comes. Davey Allison wins the Champion Sparkplug 400. Now let's go back and watch this battle for second. Rusty Wallace leads him down. It's Wallace, Elliott, and Morgan Shepherd finishing 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th right there also is Lake Speed.
Lake Speed had caught up to that crew as they were battling up there, and there you see the happy crew of Davey Allison.
Good shot of Robert Yates, the crew chief there. I know he feels good after this win. He's had a tough time with engines the last few races, and now he's pulled one off.
The second turn down the backstretch now for the final time. It is still Dale Earnhardt leading Bill Elliott into turn number 3. Elliott will make a final bid, but it's not going to work. Dale Earnhardt wins the Busch 500. Bill Elliott finishes in second position, and Jeff Bodine, I believe, is going to pick up third with Davey Allison fourth.
Boy, what a battle they had right down to the end. Hard to believe that they could run 500 hard laps, and I mean they ran hard here all night long. And Elliott comes up to congratulate Dale Earnhardt as he passes him as they head into the gas pumps. But this track, as tough as it is on the drivers and the cars, it's that close of a race at the end of the race. And let's go to the pits where Larry Nuber is with Richard Childerson crew.
Rusty went through that second turn high for the first time in a long time.
Now let's see. It looks like the interval is going to widen here on the final lap. Elliott puts the car way up against the wall. So is Rusty Wallace. Here they come off the fourth corner. It looks like it's going to be Bill Elliott winning, I think. Boy, it was close, though. I think Elliott won by about a half a car length over Rusty.
That traffic certainly came into play as they came off of that turn. Dan Elliott, that's Bill's brother.
Next year will become part of the Stavola team, but the number 12 is still very much on the calendar with the Stavolas for 1988 for Bobby Allison. Checkered flag is about to fall on his son, who has won here the Richmond 400 this afternoon on this brand new track.
That
what
one's
a grand
for
finish.
you, Dad, huh?
Yep.
Makes you feel good.
Great win for the Allison family of Alabama. Davey Allison successful this afternoon, and we'll be back to meet the winner here this afternoon in this hard-fought contest on this brand new race facility after these messages.
Here in the spring at Dover, and is threatening to make it a clean sweep for 1988. Bill Elliott through corner number 3, now corner number 4. He's on to the main straightaway, and Bill Elliott from Dawsonville, Georgia wins the Delaware 500. Second goes to Earnhardt. Third was Rusty Wallace, and fourth Davey Allison.
And Jeff Bodine will come home in 5th place in the lead lap.
Boy, what a race. Bill Elliott kept his cool all day long. Dale Earnhardt, really a lot of determination from his part because of all the adversity he faced trying to regain those lost laps. Amazing race today.
Season, the defending champion of this race is about to successfully defend his championship. He won at Charlotte earlier this year in the World 600, and now here he comes off the fourth corner. The hand is in the air. Darrell Waltrip wins the Goodies 500. Here comes Alan Kowicki off the fourth corner, and Alan finishes second, but he is limping across the line. And there's the Happy Tide crew.
He drove a very smart race, Bob. He ran a good, solid, smart race here today. Did what he had to do. Stayed out of trouble all day. He got in some close quarters at times, backed off, kept clean, kept good brakes on the car and everything.
Noticed him cut down, not allowing Darrell a lane to get around. This time Darrell's going high over in the third turn. Rusty goes high to block his path. Bill, take him to the finish.
He was very loose through turn 4, fishtailing the car. He comes to the stripe, and Darrell Waltrip makes a move. Darrell actually bumped the rear bumper on the Rusty Wallace car as they came to the checkered flag. Rusty Wallace has won the 29th annual Oakwood Homes 500, and he's also been named our Goodyear Driver of the Race here. He's picked up the $1,000 for the Winston Cup Racing Wives Association. He heads to victory lane at the present time.
White flag this time by. Final lap. Can Jeff Bodine catch Rusty Wallace? And he nudges him in turns 1 and 2. Wallace a little bit out of shape. Bodine back on the inside. They are door to door. Down for the white flag. Final time. Here's Wallace back on the inside. And he nudges Jeff Bodine in turns 3 and 4. The crowd on their feet. It will be sideways. Rusty Wallace will win it here at Wilkesboro Speedway. I mean, they are on their feet, ladies and gentlemen, for an outstanding finish.
What a finish.
Rusty Wallace and Jeff Bodine.
Oh, Jeff Bodine passes Rusty Wallace, and Rusty passes him back using the same tactics.
Now the drivers pull up door to door and talk a little bit back and forth, and about what a nice day each of them had.
Sign language.
Yeah,
it almost looked like Phil Parsons beat Jeff for second.
The backstretch, staying behind the third place car, number 11 of Terry Labonte. In the third and fourth corners for the final time. Rusty keeps the car low on the racetrack. Off of corner number 4. Here comes the checkered flag, and Rusty Wallace has won here in Rockingham.
And what a day it was for him. I'll tell you, it's just unbelievable that the winning 3 races in a row and each time have fought back from being at least 2 laps down.
The saga continues for Rusty Wallace. What a battler he is when times get tough, as it has happened the last 2 or 3 races in a row.
Before his first Winston Cup victory ever, and it comes at Phoenix International Raceway in the inaugural event here. Alan Kowicki from Greenfield, Wisconsin, in his 85th start on the Winston Cup Series. Here he comes out of corner number 4. Rusty Wallace a little bit loose coming off here. They're going to cross the line just about side by side, but it is Alan Kowicki winning the inaugural Checker 500 from Phoenix International Raceway.
And what a drive he has made here this afternoon. As they were crossing the start-finish line, Harry Gant apparently ran out of gas.
To win the race, or rather win the Cup, regardless of what Rusty Wallace did, and it is going to come down to that situation. Rusty Wallace from Fenton, Missouri is about to win the Atlanta Journal 500. Here he comes off of corner number 4, and Rusty Wallace wins race number 6 of 1988, the final one of the year. It's a celebration in the Kodiak Pontiac crew, celebrating the battle victory, but here is the war victory that's won by Bill Elliott. And listen to the partisan crowd here at Atlanta. We're just down the road from Dawsonville, Georgia, Bill's hometown, and he had a tremendous turnout of people here this afternoon to cheer him on to the Winston Cup, and they did so successfully.